so much for joining in. And on behalf of TCS ION, this is Mudita Bansal to welcome you all in this webinar, which we have named very appropriately. We say from resume to interview, your complete guide to land a technical job. So audience, we see that there are so many of you who have joined in today. More than 500 of you have joined in. A very interesting topic, a very interactive session this is going to be. So please pay attention, listen to what our guest speaker has to say. And let's wait. Let's see that some more of you also join in. Okay. But meanwhile, let me start with giving you some overview, some statistics about what we're going to talk. So in India specifically, we've gathered some statistics from India and specifically from the IT industry. The IT job journey, we know that for freshers, it is highly competitive. According to the statistics, 70 to 85% resumes are rejected at the resume filtering stage itself, which means only 15 to 30% are left. There are aptitude and coding tests where another 40 to 60% are eliminated, which means that from the original pool, just about 10 to 15% are left. And then happen the technical interviews, which completely filter out the 30 to 50% people. So now only 5 to 10% people are reaching the final round, that is the HR or managerial round, which again removes 10 to 20% people. So in the end, what we are left with is only 3 to 5% of the applicants who secure an offer. And if you want to be among those 3 to 5%, then you need to listen to what we are saying today and do what we are telling you to do. These statistics clearly explain the importance of a resume. The truth is that the companies today don't just hire based on qualifications. They actually hire, they want to hear the stories. They want people who can tell their story well, who can show not only what they have learned, but also they can apply what they have learned. And that's exactly where most of the students struggle. So in this session, our guest speaker is going to talk about what actually catches a recruiter's eye in a resume, why some candidates stand out even without top scores or not being from elite colleges, what are the most common mistakes that students make in their resumes and interviews, and how to present your skills, your projects, your certifications in a way that makes the recruiter say that this is the one who we are looking for. A very warm welcome to Debashis Kanungo. We are honored to have him as our distinguished guest today. He is a global HR and business transformation leader with over 25 years of experience across India, US, and Europe. Debashis has been instrumental in driving human capital transformation, scaling global BPO operations, and integrating HR as a strategic partner to the C-suite. Currently, Debashis is leading the HR and organizational development at TCS ION, driving workforce integration, HR finance analytics, and talent strategy for a diverse workforce as in TCS ION. And Debashis, in fact, has received multiple Brandon Hall Awards, Global HR Excellence Award, and the SSON North America HR Impact Award in the past. He is a thought leader with publications in the Springer International Journal and has authored perspectives on workforce transformation. Please join me in welcoming Debashis Kanungo. A very warm welcome, Debashis.
Thank you. Thanks so much. This is a wonderful introduction, probably the best in all my speaking career. Long,
great to know.
Thank you so much.
But that is all your accolades, Debashis. Very, very honored to have you here. So before we start the session with the audience, we want you to answer certain questions. A very, very interesting question we have come up with as the first one today. Do you know the difference between a CV and a resume? CV, the full form you all know, curriculum vitae. But do you know the difference? There's a Slido app that you will see on your screens. If you're on the phone, then you will have to view the Slido app from the top of your screen. And if you're on a laptop, then it should appear on the right side. If you're not able to access the Slido app, then please respond in the chat. Most of the responses in the chat, I am seeing no. There is one person, Tanisha, who said yes. But let's see what the statistics in the Slido app says. It says most of them know what is the difference in the CV and resume. Can you write the difference between a CV and a resume in the chat? Those who have said yes, would you like to just attempt writing the difference? I can see Sneha says resume is a brief introduction and CV is the summary. Okay. Mahia says CV is made by fresher and resume is made by experience holder. Can I have some more inputs, please, audience? Okay, Bhagwan Rana says resume is only one page and CV is more than one page. And someone has taken a Google snapshot also. Piyush, thank you for making that effort. Okay, but let us ask our guest speaker, sir, what are the pertinent differences in a CV and a resume that a fresher must know of?
It's a good question. I think most of them have answered it rightly. That a CV is little detailed about you as a person, as a student, or as a from an experience standpoint, and resume is a brief snapshot of your CV. That's correct. So, as a layman, I'll say that okay, it's a from a layman's English language. Resume is a brief snapshot of your CV.
Great. Okay, so next question to the audience again. Have you created or tried creating a resume as yet? Have you tried creating your own resume as yet? Let me see how many yeses are there. Oh, we have 84% people who have either created or tried creating their resumes. And we have so many yeses in the chat as well. Uncountable. They are just coming up like bullshots. Okay, next question. What is the highlight in your resume? It's a multi-select question. Is it your projects, your certifications, your academic scores, your college name, your aspirations? What is it that you think is the major highlight in your resume? If it is all of these, then please mark all of these. Let's see the responses. I've got very less responses for this question so far. Just about 70 people have responded in the Slido app. In the chat, I can see varied responses, and many of them are saying all of these also. So the poll says most of them, 81% of them say that projects are a major highlight. 75% say certifications are also there. 42% have academic scores as well. 27% people include their aspirations in their resume, and 24% have their college name as their highlight. Certificate and skills, their projects and placements are some of the responses that were in the chat. Very interesting mix of responses, Debashis. Projects is the highlight, is something that is really good to know, right? Certifications is next. So it seems to be a very, very promising audience that we have today. So stepping into the world of jobs is exciting, but it also comes with a fair share of doubts and questions. And that's exactly what we bring to our audience today. Debashish, we couldn't have asked for a better guide for this session. We are really curious, and we have an ambitious group of students who is equally curious to know, very eager to the corporate world, but they're also carrying a lot of questions and doubts and hopes. So let's begin with the question: what is the job market today? Doesn't does it look the same as it was 5 years ago? Are there new skills in demand? AI is definitely reshaping the jobs and companies are also hiring differently. So for the students who are here, who are about to step into this changing, ever changing world, how would you explain what is really different now and what they should focus on to be hired?
It's I think the question most popularly asked today, and it is an industry kind of debate that is going on for quite a number of years. Uh, the first and foremost that I'd like everyone to know here, and first of all, I'd like to welcome all the participants here in this webinar, and thanks for joining. I would like to mention here is that the topic itself is um, the first level of discussion for any student from a campus. And when there is a transition from a campus to corporate, it makes more relevant question that student asks. Uh, from a current job market, when I say current job market, we also need to understand that going back, change is what we know is a constant. So there is a change and there will be change. Earlier, the change used to happen, anything that used to happen in the market as a change used to be driven by technology or driven by geographical conditions or geopolitical situations. Uh, Today, it is more technology driven. Um, so earlier, the time span that a change used to happen was 5 to 10 years. Today, it is much faster. And as you said correctly, that AI is definitely going to impact the job market. Uh, and tomorrow, again, after 2 to 3 years, you may see the quantum is going to change further the job market. So yes, AI has definitely changed the market, and the rapid technological advancements and disruptions that is happening around the world with convergence. When I say convergence, I'll just give you an example for you to understand that what is the convergence which I am trying to refer to. So earlier, if you remember, a person who used to travel by air, that is by a flight, by a plane, there used to only be a passenger. They used to travel the passenger as a passenger. And then slowly and slowly, same airline is trying to bring in more advanced technology into their flight and retail, or they started selling products in the air itself. So there is a convergence of retail industry getting into the airlines. Similarly, the payment gateways, the banking industry also getting into the airlines. So all these are convergence of ideas, which makes a person, I know the human, if you look at from a human aspect, it is about human welfare. So anything which is convenient for the person to do is what the technology is trying to enable. So these changes will happen. These changes has happened, will happen in the future as well. So digital proficiency is what would actually be required for a person to be to be up to speed with the changes. Similarly, emphasis on soft skills will also enable a person to adapt to the changes that is happening. For example, today, communication and collaboration is what is required. Uh, Even in sustainable developmental goals, the UN sustainable developmental goals, it mentions about that the skill that is required and the attributes that are required. So there are certain soft skills, there are certain hard skills that people have to learn. Soft skills like communication, collaboration, adaptability, and how is AI changing it? You have to adapt. Even a 6
Looks like we lost Debashish's network.
Focus on
Uh,
lifelong learning, then diversity and inclusions. When you talk about diversity and inclusions are cultural competencies. There are cultural competencies. Then remote work and flexibility. Uh, you have to get into a remote work and flexibility as technology advances. You will see that, okay, there will be certain areas where technology will enable you, again, for the convenience of the mankind, and the work relationship with an employer. Entrepreneurship and intrapreneurships. These are two very important things. You have to have in your mind something which is always innovative, creative, process improvements. Every time you have to look at that, what you need to evolve from the current day, that is current day of working, to the next day of working. So that's how you will have to improvise yourself. So there will be ever changing improvisation required for you. And for that, learning is a correlation that you need to do. So knowledge acquisition and application of the knowledge. Similarly, industry specific knowledge, wherever a student is interested, for which industry that a person would like to work for, a travel industry or a banking or a finance, or whichever industry they are looking for to launch their career, they need to understand, and knowledge should be acquired in those domains. And with globalizations, of course, the job market is increasingly getting global, and students should be prepared to work with diverse teams across different geographical locations. Language skills and an understanding of global economic factors can be very advantageous. So overall, in a nutshell, if I have to say, um, the students to be proactive about the career development. When I say career, it is not about the personal, it is about the career that they want to pursue. And sometimes I've come across people who have graduated in computers but have got into investment banking. Um, that can be a change after you complete your courses, education, and all that. There can be an urge for you to move into a different area altogether. But that shift has to happen in the mind first, and then actions has to happen. And actions is again learning how to do, how to know the area, new areas of learning, how to embrace those learnings and apply those learnings. Or of course, when you embrace those learnings, then you are assimilating this knowledge and then apply those knowledge to your work area or to your area for passion, area of passion. So this is what I would like to say, that this is the way that technology is impacting, and AI specifically is providing you the guidance that, okay, there are certain things that will get enabled for you seamlessly with lesser time for you to rummage and get things for information from an information standpoint. Uh, and if I give you an example, earlier in the 60s, a typist, today there is no typist role, but the same typists, are they still there? Yes, they are there, but they have a higher skills, which is the digital skills that they know, that how they can type faster, computing has to be faster, how do they use different tools in a computer in order to type faster with no grammatical error, no reviews required for them to actually get a validated document. All these things are automatically done today. And AI can even type what you start thinking. So AI is impacted. The same job has been impacted with higher productivity. That's what I would like to say.
Very well said, Debashish. Thank you so much for giving that clarity. I hope the students, you got the crux of it. If you need to yet to decide what is the career that you want to pick up, then you must gather the knowledge first, what is available. How will you, how do you match up to that skill set? How will you upskill yourself to match up through the job role? Gather that uh, skill set and then apply for these jobs, yeah, and make a career into it. Thank you, Debashish. So many students are really pointing out that we should come to the resume part, please, quickly. Although we've said that we'll cover all those points that I mentioned in the beginning, Students, please also be assured that we will be reviewing a few sample CVs here. They are live CVs actually. We've got hold of them from a placement team that we have. We picked up 3 resumes from that, and we'll be reviewing those 3 here in the session. Okay. So please be patient and please write sense in the chat. The next question to Debashish. So when you are as an HR, when you're reviewing hundreds of resumes, what is it that really makes one resume stand out in just those first few seconds that you put your eye on? Is it
Yeah.
just about the right keywords and the skills that you see in the resume? Or do you also try to gather the clarity of the person, the mindset of the person, or any consistency in the profile, Debashish?
So when you have large volumes of resumes, we use, of course, advanced technologies like for ATS applicant tracking systems. There are various applicant tracking systems in the market, and it depends on which employer chooses which applicant tracking systems, which is highly advanced applicant tracking systems, or it is more of a efficiency-driven applicant tracking system. But when we actually look at from a volume perspective, when there is a huge volume, then we use technology, definitely. And what stands out in a CV is that the technology or the tool that we use, they are they are not humans. They are being trained as a human. So when they are trained as a human, which you call as a machine language, that the machine trains itself. So how it trains is that the data that is provided to the machine and the logic that is provided, the machine gets trained and said that, okay, this is a CV that we need not focus on and is a left shift or a right shift of the CV. When it's a left shift, right shift, it is rejected or it is getting selected for the next round, next step, that is the process step, is the interview. But when we look at a profile, when we look at a resume, which is a one page for your the kind of audience here, I hope that they are all from the colleges, those who are experienced. That's also not very different, but yes, for experience, the criteria for choosing a resume is different than a criteria for choosing a resume for a fresher or a entry level person. So what we look at is that first of all, the name and or whatever the person's name and his nowadays we have to look at that what social site he is active in. That is, they mention about the LinkedIn profile or any other job profile that they have put it in the digital world or social sites. Second is that what achievements that they have made. If you normally see, when I have personally, and I have spoken to so many recruiters, if the recruiter is is a very trained recruiter, then they would get into details of a CV. And when I say details, that how is it written? Okay, some people write boxing their CVs in different colors, and they use some artistic method to present their CV. That is not what a recruiter looks for. Recruiter looks for that what is the job description that was given, whether the person has read the job descriptions and has written the as customized his or her resume according to that. That's the reason why we started with, I think, the question that was asked rightly, that what is the difference between a CV and a resume. You can derive your resume customized to a job description from your CV. If the CV is detailed, then you will be able to customize it according to the job description. And when you read a job that has been posted, you will be able to find that what are the keywords that the employer is looking for. I'll give an example to illustrate that what I want to say. Suppose a job description says that we are looking for creative people. Okay, when I say that that is the emphasis that the job description provides, the first line or second line or third line, the first paragraph, then your introductory messaging in your resume has to be in such a way that it catches one's attention. Uh, and giving an example, a person was actually, this is a advertisement for ad agency, a creative writer. And eventually, of course, a creative writer, the first line of the job description would be that you are creative or you have the knowledge about creating something new out of it, and you have a keen observations. All those are the attributes in the job descriptions that is required. And this guy, young guy, 22 years old guy, has sent a CV encrypted and says that if you want to know my potential, then you have to click and connect with me. I will give you the password to open my CV. That
Very
itself is
interesting.
so creative, right?
So
So
innovative.
it's
Yes.
very innovative. So that is what it will catch attention to that CV, that person. So the observation about the person is very important. That what actually is the employer looking for? That is the JD. And when you look at the JD, you will not see that uniform JDs are available across. It may look like an uniform, but you have to find the important keywords that the employer is stressing upon for you to customize your resume. That's the most important. And if the employer uh, deploys the ATS system to filter out, then it will also give a command to the ATS system that these are the profiles that I would like, the keywords I would like to look at. And the example that I gave, ATS will not able to, it will not reject. It will actually become a neutral, and it will actually throw up that this is something new that has come. So it itself gives an indication that even the machine is not able to understand. So something new has come. So that person automatically gets highlighted in the system itself. Otherwise, natural language processing, machine learning, and the system enhancements to ability to identify these qualified candidates is normally the machine can find out. And then the recruiter finds those out which are filtered and looks at those resumes in detail. Most important thing that the recruiter looks for is that how have you projected yourself from an experience standpoint, the which projects that you have undertaken and what you have learned. uh, Example I will give you, the experience a person did not, a candidate did not have. This is the example that I can give from my own experience. A candidate thought that, okay, all my classmates are going to write the same CV because we have done the same project, or my batchmates the same project. So how do I differentiate myself? So in the hobbies section, he wrote that I am passionate about football. In Indian term, it is a football. In US, it is soccer. So I am passionate about football and I play football. The next line, he highlighted the word that I am a midfielder. Okay. And I highlighted the word with bold. It caught the attention of a recruiter. So why did he write this midfielder? Okay. It is actually the candidate himself wanted to create a curiosity that why did he write? That was the intention. That why did he write in bold a midfielder? What does it mean? When he was spoken to, he answered this question in a very, very pragmatic way. In a football game, the forwards, they score. They score the goal. Okay. They are individual contributors, but once the ball comes to them, he finds an opportunity to score a goal. But a midfielder is always looking at opportunity to help his teammate in the forward to score the goal, which itself is talks about the collaboration, team building, team spirit. These all aspects came out in the interview by just highlighting one word in the hobby section.
Very interesting examples, Debashis. Thank you so much for sharing these.
Yeah,
Let
that's
me
what I want
move.
to say.
let me move to the next question that I have for you. So, from your experience, Debashish, what truly makes a candidate uh, who comes for an interview appear that he's ready for the corporate world? Do you see the way this person communicates in the interview, or his ability to understand business problems, or something beyond just technical skills? So many students are technically strong, but they still struggle in the interviews, right? What do the HR interviewers actually look for in these candidates that candidates are generally overlooking in themselves?
Mhm. Okay. See, we have I think we have a thinking, I think the thinking bias that communication is about English language. Okay, it's not about only English, speaking fluent English and all that.
Hmm.
How you communicate. When you say the communication, so when you say ready for a corporate world, candidates should prioritize strong communication skills, which means that you are able to deliver what you intend to deliver and to be understood in the same way that you want to deliver. To make it very simple, if I want to communicate that I have a strength in, let us say, uh, I'm a suppose I'm trying to portray myself that I'm a responsible guy. Okay. So I had interviews I've done in my career. I have at least done 9,000 to 10,000 interviews in my career. Okay. And I've gone to campus, number of campus, probably 230 to 240. I've written it down. Whichever campus I go, I write my one single experience in that campus. And I'm just giving you this experience from REC Warangal. This guy wrote that in his hobbies, cooking. Okay. Normally, when you see a CV for a fresher or an entry level guy, they say that reading books or whatever is normal. They write. Even if they don't read books and all that, they will read books because it is something which is copied. So, of course, I would like to mention here that you should not copy anybody's CV because it doesn't give you a differentiator. Number one. Number two is that you are not learning how to write, how to communicate, right? So when this guy was asked the hobby, the first interviewer rejected that. Okay, is it as simple as a person, and he was answering his project and everything in a simple way, and which is similar to any other person because they are all the same batch. Um, Nobody put focus on his hobbies because it was not coming to them as an interviewer, which is a technical interviewer. So we have two rounds of interviews, technical and management review. Technical is specifically to understand your skills and your competencies that is required for the job. And management review is where you are assessed on how good or well you fit into the culture of the organization as a whole. So in a management review, the CV came and this we have to reject or select, and the technical interviewer did not give a very high score to him. And I noticed this hobby as cooking and nothing else than that. And I was asking this question to him that is it cooking for a hobby or is something else? He articulated it so well. He said, no, my mother is suffering from, of course, a disease and all that. That's what he mentioned, and I cannot tell that disease. And she would not need help uh, in the daily household core. So I actually help her. So I cook whenever she's not able to do it. This gives a very clear indicator that he is a responsible and a dependable person.
Responsible person. Hmm.
Okay. So that's the thing that apart from the communications and all that, we look for adaptability and a willingness to learn, then reliability, critical thinking, and initiatives that the person has taken from the CV that the person has written, alongside good interpersonal skills, which sets the candidate apart. So ultimately, HR interviews seek well-rounded individuals who not only exhibit enthusiasm for the role, demonstrate an understanding of how they can contribute positively to the organization. So your CV has to give all dimensions of you as a person to be ready for a profession. That's the gist of what I wanted to say.
Thank you. And your interview as well. Okay. So, Debashish, so many students here are also asking, and it's a very oftenly asked question about the entire recruitment journey from the application to the final selection. What is the typical process, and how has AI impacted? You mentioned about the ATS tool, uh, but in this complete process, how has AI impacted the complete process of hiring? Is what we would like to know.
There is a nine, we say the 9-step recruitment life cycle. 9-step recruitment life cycle from starting from job posting to onboarding, right? And in between, I'll just tell you that what are the steps. So starting with job posting, then application and resume submission that the candidate does, and then the initial screening that the employer does or the recruiter does. Then you have the assessment and testing of your skills or whatever in the assessment. There can be a 2-step assessment or a 5-step assessment process. Google has 5-step assessment process. Some organizations have 1 step. Some organizations have 2-step. In TCS, we have 2 steps. Then there will be interviews, of course, it's followed by interviews, and then the evaluation happens, the candidate evaluation happens, and reference and background checks are done. Well, finally, it is a job offer, and which results into an onboarding of the candidate. So, how AI has impacted each of these steps, I can just say that in a job posting, tools can optimize job descriptions for search engines or ensure inclusivity by suggesting language adjustment to attract diverse candidates. That's how the job posting is done. And today with AI, this has changed. So we can put our job description and see that, okay, while posting, this should not give any biases, it should not exclude a person from applying, and those things can come out in the AI driven tools for job posting. Similarly, for application and submission of resumes, the ATS automates the process by collecting and organizing resumes, making it easier for recruiters to manage application. As I told you earlier, that is how they look at it, filtering people out. If there is a supply, there is a higher supply for filtration. For screening, when the screening is done, AI actually, the AI algorithms improve the accuracy of the keyword matching and contextual understanding, enhancing the identification of suitable candidates. In assessment and testing, there are now tests which are been in the high-end ATS. Also, it is embedded that automatic testing platform. So you are given a scenario and you are provided with an opportunity to answer that or hack a problem, and that will provide predict a candidate's success, and it will be a data-driven assessment. Similarly, in interviews, tools like AI-driven interview scheduling, streamlining the stage for a better experience for the candidates. And some systems even offer AI-generated insights on candidate responses during interviews. So when it is recorded, then it can actually throw out the psychological parameters of a person during the interview, which can be used by an interviewer if he or she wants to do that. Or the employer wants to do that. Though it can amount to a privacy also, amount to interference in the privacy, but some countries do allow that. From an evaluation standpoint, the impact of AI is that the tools can aggregate feedback from interviewers. That means the 3 rounds of interviewers or 4 rounds of interviews and all that, and provide analytics to help the teams to make an informed decision about hiring the person or not. Then background checks, as you know, that AI has a lot of role to play. It can aggregate automated background verification from different agencies and can also expedite this process. People, there are reference background checks where the tool actually get into those social websites and all that and look at your comments and provide a detailed analysis of a person, that what kind of person you are, the biased person, or you are too much too much analytical person, or you have intended attitude, intended attraction to a certain political behavior. All this background checks can be done through AI. And of course, the job offer, it is all automated. AI systems can analyze market data, and HR teams can determine competitive compensation package through AI. Similarly, onboarding tools are available which are AI driven, which can facilitate onboarding through personalized training modules and progress tracking and all that. So overall, if I have to conclude that the incorporation of AI and ATS tools significantly enhances the recruitment process by streamlining operations, reducing administrative burdens, and improving the overall candidate experience.
So the part of it that impacts the candidates, the students, for example, the ones who are attending here, is majorly the ATS tool and things that they need to take care of when they are attempting their interviews. For example, to the panel, they should be consistent in their answers. They, of course, as you earlier mentioned, they should be confident. Their body language should be corporate friendly. All of those are the points that they need to, take out from this information that you've given.
Yeah,
And of
ATS
course,
is
there.
one. ATS is one tool only, which is screening and all that, and tracking people and all that. But interviews and all that, there are different tools, AI tools,
Yes.
which can be used, and employers may be using that when you are in a
So they
camera.
should, yeah. So they should, I think, practice on some simulators if they are available.
Of
If you
course,
could
of course,
recommend
of
any.
course, of course,
Hmm.
of course. Because if you do not know that where you are going or where you need improvement, you will not be
Right.
able to improve. Of course.
Right. Great. So many of them are asking how to make an ATS friendly resume, Devashish. There are some other questions that I see from Vivek Kumar Verma. He says, does the college really matter more than skills? Palak Agarwal says, how to make ATS friendly resume. Then Biswajit Sahu says, can you share some tips to build a strong resume? Saundarya Singh says, how should okay, this is a different question. I'll take it up later. Uh, there was another person who was asking about internships. So all of these, I think we will be able to answer with the next section that we have, the most important and interesting section that we are coming up with. So we are going to show you students a JD of a fresher role in IT. Okay. And then we are going to review 3 resumes that have been against this JD, basically. Okay. So let's look at the JD, and Debashish will help you identify how to your JD and what to take out from the JD, and then how to prepare for making your resume based on the JD. Let's do that, Debashish, as the first step.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have the JD on the screen. Are you able to see that, Debashish?
Not yet. Yeah, yeah, I saw that. Yes, I got it.
Okay, great.
I'm able to see. So this is a JD, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's a key skills and anything else then?
It says education, internship experience, projects. All this is in the JD itself.
Mhm. So it's very focused JD. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see the JD. Yeah, you can go for the yeah. I just can you stay here certifications? Can you stay here in that? Okay. Okay. Fine.
I feel that we can start from the beginning where they are writing that they require AI ML
Yeah, this
enthusiasts.
is a very focused, I think, job description where they are looking at candidates specifically in the hard skills, what they should
Mm.
have. Hard skill that is very clearly, I think, explained here. The programming language, then frameworks, and also data analysis and visualizations. Then some specializations, NLP and natural language processing, computer vision, deep learning, okay, reinforcement learning, tools and platforms, so Peter Notebook and Google. So for a fresher, I think we will look at this job description. For a fresher in a college, whether it is a renowned college, when you say college which is up in the ranks in the yeah, all these, I don't think that anybody in India specifically, all these are uh, uh, given as skills, because certifications may be provided by the college, but there may be some self learning that the person that the candidates should be doing. If I look at from a general college standpoint, so it gives a very clear understanding that they are looking for people who have done also self-learning based on their curiosity or explorer. So, and key attributes, when you go to the key attributes, I don't know whether its key attributes are there. Education is there. Then internship experience there is there, which is hands-on experience, projects. But did they mention about behavioral attributes here? Okay.
No, I think the only behavioral attribute they have mentioned is enthusiast in the
Yeah,
beginning.
enthusiast. So enthusiasm is the beginning of the, I think, job description, right?
Yes.
Yeah, ML enthusiast. So, okay, passionate and model deployment, passionate about leveraging AI.
Yes, passionate. Mm.
So passionate is what comes out clearly from what the attribute should be. Okay. Are you going for a CV?
Okay, so let's go to the resume then. Uh, the first resume, this is some Gaurav who has done his computer applications. Can you just increase the font size,
Yeah, I'm
Swapnil?
not able to see.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. One thing that I hear itself from the beginning itself, the CV, I would not suggest if the employer is using a ATS, this boxing. So your highest qualification, and anybody who knows that, okay, that the person who has done masters should have also done BScs and all that. The percentage and all that, what actually CGPA only provides the guidance to a recruiter or an employer, uh, that how consistent he or she is. Okay. So looking at this profile, he has been a consistent performer at 77% or CGPA of 7 to 8. If I convert percentage to a CGPA. So boxing, it's what happens is that the ATS doesn't provide any um, extra score to
Okay.
to the decoration of any CV. If you are looking at decorating or ornamenting a CV or garnishing the CV in a such a way that it may look nice for your eyes, but the machine doesn't look at this, because there is a subjectivity, and machine learning doesn't provide subjective analysis. It is mostly the look at the average analysis. So
Hmm.
you can put in box, it will pick up, but other things are, sometimes I see that,
There's no
okay,
scope
people,
of innovation
yeah,
in the
there is no
box.
scope for innovation here. Okay.
Hmm.
Then
That's a very
projects, why?
important point. Most of the CVs that we see, they have a table. at least one table.
Yeah, it is
So
better
it's a
to
very
put it in.
important point to note.
Yeah, it is better to put in bullet points and all that. It will be easy for the ATS
Okay.
to read it.
Okay. And one more question that is coming from Sagar again and again. He says that in 10th, if our profile is showing 59.84% and the cutoff for the organization is 60%, why can't this profile be considered with 59.84? My take on this, Debashish, is that if we carry on giving this leeway of 0.16% to every person, then we will come down to 35% at one point. Because then we will think of, okay, why not 59.74? Then why not 59.65? Right? Yeah.
See, Sagar,
Hope you agree
to
with
your
that.
question, Sagar, to your question, this is a game of supply and demand. The supply and demand, right? When the supply is more, there is going to be filtration. And if you see the 80% of the candidates who has applied for a particular job is below 59%, then probably the cutoff will be 40. Okay, so looking at the supply and demand, 60% is what in India is considered that the first division, right? First division, or they call it as in a CGPA and all that. They or the first, they are among the top first division kind of criteria. So those people are good to be hired because they have put extra efforts to achieve 60%. Yeah, 59.5% and difference between another person of 60%. The efforts cannot be discriminated, but however, there has to be a cutoff because the supply is high. So there has to be a cutoff.
Thank you. Okay, let's carry on. This shows projects. Project A, Project B written here. Project A is weather app.
Okay. But
Built a responsive
if you
weather
look
app.
at,
Integrate.
it will not score very high in a ATS, even in a
Okay.
ATS. Or a recruiter also it will not score. Because in the JD, what is written and what here is showing, there are a lot of areas that the JD asks for a candidate to have, and here there are not many that can be shown. So data, it says data manipulation and all that, but the JD has asked for data analysis or whatever. So you need to very clearly say, you may have done that, but you probably would have that candidate, whoever is the candidate here, Gaurav, is not gone through the JD well. So his scoring, if I have to look at score, if recruiter has to provide a score, so it will be in the mid level. So it is not providing any guidance that okay, he has gone through the JD and thought thoroughly in putting his project description. The end objective of the project, if it is with an analytics flavor and insights, actionable insights, then it should have written here. If you would have put analytics, if the actionable insights of the project as a end objective with these pandas or data cleaning and transformations and all that, it would have been better.
So first point we discussed was that the boxing should be avoided. Second point, that the keywords in the JD should be present in the profile. And of course, you should be able to justify it in your interview.
Yes, yes. Because if you do not even have worked in those keywords, then you should not express that in this way, because it is giving a completely different picture that you have not worked in those areas, but you have worked in those other areas, right? So it is better to give an outcome based on the project. You have to explain the project well. If you explain the project well, then you will be chosen for an interview to create a curiosity that what tools that you have used. So the first level is that you have to first be interviewed, then you can express yourself better, and there can be a change in the mindset of the interviewer, because the machine has taken this and it will score less. Whereas once you get into the interview, you will be asked exploratory questions where you can demonstrate your abilities. So ability is an important part here. You have to demonstrate that you have the ability to learn any new skills. So pandas or Python, you can have similar tools which you have learned, but not the exact tools that the JD has said. But in an interview, you can verify, you can very well tell that it is just 2 days learning because I know Python. And the other thing is very easy for me to learn. And why it is easy and why you have used Python. That will give a clarity that there is a reason behind you learning Python and not the tool that is used. And your learning agility can be proven in the interview. Machine cannot do that. So you have to first see that how you can overcome the machine language, the machine internal language, by looking at the
So
JD so that you know. Yeah.
that is from ATS perspective. But other than that, what I see here is that the project details that are given here, it's not mentioned that what the student has done himself, how he
Yes.
has contributed to the project, and what is the outcome of the project.
Outcome is
I
important. Here
think
there is no
those
outcome
2
written.
points are missing.
Yes. Here the
Mm.
project, what actually was the desired outcome and what he has achieved the outcome.
Correct. So I see so many people, see Priyanka writing the same message again and again will not help. We have a certain flow to carry. If you are interested, then please stay. Else you can watch the recording later. Siddhant Mal is asking certain question, why college CGPA English more important than technical skills? Siddhant, these questions have been answered by Debashish with examples, with very brilliant examples. I wish you had heard the conversation so far. If not, then please, we'll be uploading the recording in a few weeks. You may refer to that. Let's carry on, Debashish, with the next section in this resume. It says skills, and it has just mentioned the skills. I mean, just the
Yeah.
names of the skills here.
Yeah. So look at the JD again. So it has no connection with the JD. So we should look at that what skills. If you do not have those JD, the skills that is provided in the JD, it is better to mention that equal less of skills and say that okay, like Excel. Suppose it has in the JD it is written Excel, but I have not used this Excel, suppose. Then I can say I'm using some other tool. I can write spreadsheets. So Excel is itself a spreadsheet. So the spreadsheet is the skill. So one tool I have learned, and Excel can be learned. So you can mention another spreadsheet, which actually is a class rather than specific, which will bring you into the table.
Okay. And then come the certifications. I think he's mentioned the name of the certification and from where he has done.
One thing that NPTEL.
It
What is
seems
the
to
full
be a
form?
link. This seems to be a link to the certification.
But
Where
then
we can.
it should clarify that certification. You have to clarify that MPTEL and
Okay.
all that. It will be an oversight for a recruiter to see that.
Okay. Okay.
It needs to
And
be
then areas
clearly
of
written that what is
interest,
NPTEL.
hobby, extracurricular activities. I think this
Yeah.
you have
So area
mentioned
of interest
some
and
interesting examples. Yes.
area of interest and hobbies. If you want to highlight, which will provide your personality as and also your professional orientation. It is better to write more in this.
Sure. Let's have the next CV on the screen.
Mhm.
Yes. So this person has
Okay.
given his contact number, email ID, LinkedIn profile. And
Okay.
what was this? The last one.
Okay. So, see, from a format standpoint, I will give a very higher score than the previous one. If I go by the format, bullet points very clearly written. Uh, Objective has to be very much. I'm emphasizing objective. Objective should not be a copy and a paste. You need to be very clear that what your objective is. In this, I can talk about it long hours into the objective part because it is an art to write an objective that what you want to do, and you have to be very fair and also honest in that. And it should come out clearly because that is a differentiator between you and any other person. Because that's unique. Uh, this looks
That's
very
your personal, that's your personal branding that you're doing.
yes,
Objective.
exactly. There's a personal branding that you ought to do. Okay. Similarly, from education and internship, it has written because from the CV. So can you go down to internship and all that? Yes. Okay. And it could have been done little better after writing the objective, what he's actually mentioning about the internship thing, what he has done. That is the end objective that the desired objective that was for road traffic management and all that. So his contribution can be written in one more bullet point. Okay, that would have given a higher score. But this is a
Right.
right format that has been presented. So between the last two, that is last one CV with this, I will score it much higher than the previous one. And you
Previous
can
one.
actually put
Okay.
it in an ATS and get a score. I think that score you will get it better. You can verify this.
Okay. Okay, but here he's written just very short, one word, one
Technical
half a
skills, yeah,
line and a
yeah.
yeah. This could be done better, right?
Much better, much better. There is a lot of opportunity here to write about yourself so that it actually aligns to the objective.
Okay. So there is a question that has come up. I have to see who asked. Um, but the question was that what should be the specific order? Okay, Amana is asking, is there any specific order to mention in the resume? Like project should come after education, or what way is the best? What is the best sequence?
Yeah, I'll tell you that. But do you have time? Otherwise, I'll take 2 3
We'll
minutes more
we'll
here.
sure, sure.
So the first thing that there has to be a clarity and structure. Easy to read, clean format, not cluttered, consistent font, alignment and headings and all that. Spelling and grammatical errors has to be taken into consideration. Second is a educational background. Wow, whether your degree, branch, college, university, academic performance, CGPA and percentage and all that, and relevant coursework or electives or if aligned with the job. You do not need not write coursework and electives unless and until it is required in the job description. There is the skills and the tools that you have, technical skills, the programming language, software, tools, framework, database, or whatever you want to write. Then internship and projects, as I mentioned, any internship experience, as per the sequence is concerned. So any internship experience, even if it is short, academic or personal projects that show initiatives or relevance, um, clear mention of the role and the tools that are used. What is your role? What tools you used, and what are the outcomes? That should be the description on internship and projects. Achievements and extracurricular activities, as all of us know nowadays you have to mention that hackathons, coding competitions, case studies, and your achievement on the performance in those hackathons and all that. Scholarship, awards, uh, all those things, and even positions of responsibility, club secretary or event organizer, or driving some CSR and all those things. The career intent has to be very clear. The concise objective, which I mentioned, of course, that has to come first. Concise objective, summary that shows interest in the role for the industry. Then last one is about the professionalism that you show in the JD. How do you show a professionalism? That it has to be very clear that your contact details and everything is written in a very clear and understandable manner. And it should be conspicuous, it should be visible. That should be the order. Starting with your the intent objective, showing all your details in a conspicuous way, and then what I mentioned about the skills, the clarity, structure, and all that. Education background, skills and tools,
Hmm.
internship projects, achievements, career intent, and all that.
So there are a couple of more questions. One is from Nandini Srivastav. She says, what has more significance, hackathons or projects? Hackathons or any
See,
competitions, we can say.
yes, it's actually when an employer looks for high performers, they look at competitions.
Okay.
Okay, so they look at competitions. When an organization looks at team performers, and all that project.
Team performance.
Yeah, that means that large team. So I'm just taking an example of a BPO industry. Let's take a BPO industry.
Okay.
Every individual has some tasks to do, but all individuals' tasks are interdependent on the other. There is a workflow
Mm.
for the finished product. So everybody has to be a collaborator as well as a team man, team guy. So your projects and all that which you have done is a team
Okay.
activity. When you do a project, it's a team
Got it.
activity.
Okay. Okay, there's a question from Aldrin Silvera. He says, why do mid-range companies conduct aptitude and logical reasoning tests in interviews, whereas most MNCs don't?
Very good question. Okay. Uh, I don't know about mid-range or any range of organizations. Every organization want to hire good people, okay, or right fit people, right fit for the job. So there is no set standard for a mid-range companies vis-a-vis multinational companies. Okay, everybody is they look for persons to be fit for the job. Uh, so reasoning and logical reasoning or aptitude and all that provides an indicator of the person's ability to perform, but it doesn't provide the capability of the person. An interview provides the capability of
Okay.
the person,
Mm,
because interview gives a demonstrated view about the person because it demonstrates it on the ground. When you throw up questions, the way he responds, the professionalism he shows, the body language it provides, the way he or she communicates, the way he comprehends the question, how fast he comprehends, what are his learning attitudes. So attitude is very important that in an interview it is so. That attitude comes to play in a work environment. In a campus to corporate world, please understand, every organization looks for you completely different than what your campus looks for. Campus is a competition. I'm talking about India specifically.
mm,
The competition, everybody wants to score higher than the other. Okay. But in a corporate world, it is not the same. You are evaluated completely differently. Your relationship, interrelations with your people, networking in your environment, how agile you are in learning, how do you conduct yourself ethically, how do you intend to deliver. All these are attributes, and these attributes is actually is a very important part. Skills are they're there, skills are required to do the job, but one can learn if you have a learning attitude. So, and does it answer the question or did I confuse you
Yes,
all?
yes, it does. No, it does. So very clearly, hackathons, competitions are important when they are looking for a very, very strong person who can contribute as an individual, and they are looking for projects which shows their learning agility, their keenness to learn, and to be a team player to work in projects, right?
Both,
There's
yes.
another interesting question, a very relevant one. You were talking about interview, you were talking about answering or not answering in the interview. Tanuja has a question. If suddenly I don't get an answer, don't have an answer to a question, how do I manage the interview?
If you are out of words and all that, I do also come across this situation very many a times at this age also. So you do not have answers to everything. Please be honest if you do not know the answer. But if you are not able to remember an answer which you have said, okay, you are probably you know, but that time at that point in time, because there is an anxiety, there is a stress on you during an interview, and you forget. You have to be very clear and tell that okay, I forgot. I had read it, but I am not able to recall it. Okay, so you have to be honest. That's the honesty that the interviewer looks for.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Devashish, for sharing so many tips and tricks. One last advice we would like to take from you for the audience uh, who are getting into this space of interviews and resume building and presenting themselves to the corporate world and trying to enter the best roles. What is that one advice that you would want to give to them before we end the session?
Okay, I have many things to talk about and talk to when I want to address this particular question. I'll just cite one paper. It is written by a young guy, hardly out of the college for 5 years into service, and he has written a book called Campus to Corporate. The author's name is Puneet Sharma, I think, if I remember correctly. But I've read it a year back or two. So what he clearly articulated is that you have to cultivate a professional mindset, uh, master communication skills. But overall, what he has mentioned overall, said you need to update yourself with skills that that would actually land you in your career, that aspirational career. The skills that you need to learn. Okay, when it comes to skills, communication is a skill. Corporate, uh, apart from a corporate culture, task management, discipline, and all that. So you need to update yourself every time a new technology comes. If you are getting into an IT job, if you are actually getting into a services job, so let me take an example of Amazon, a delivery boy. I want to land up in it, or I want to land up in a hotel industry, hospitality industry. I need to learn that how to build a customer oriented behavior so that I get accepted as a customer. I have seen a person who has learned how to handle a telephone because he was passionate about the hospitality industry. The reason he felt that receptionist is a very important role. Earlier it was called as a receptionist. Now it is called as a front desk.
Front
And
desk.
tomorrow it will be called as a front desk ambassador. Because every line lands up in that phone and how he answers, after how many rings that person has to pick up, and how does he deal with conflict. This is again a learning, and he went through certifications for that. It is not about certification and then he got into a job on the job training and all that. So you have to update yourself with every time there is something new that is coming in, or you want to get into a job, an investment banker. If you want to move out from an IT world to an investment banking, then you have to get into a investment banking, kind of a banking as a skill. You need to learn the knowledge. First of all, have the knowledge about what is banking, and learn, do some certifications in banking, and then become that, okay, how do I become an investment banking and wealth management expert? uh, Third is about learning that, I'll give an example of another example, that a student who was in the college, he was asked to that choose a subject elective for graduation. He was given two chances, and this is in US university, where a medical student, is an 8 years course. One can move from a biology to medical medicine professions, from biology to can do a medicine course also. So a student actually thought of that 4 years hence, what will be the demand and what is the learning required. So the example that I'm giving, the student thought that, okay, I need to do biomedical engineering before I get into medicine. The reason is she thought, see, it's a girl, so she thought that tomorrow when hospitals have to run optimally at a cost, then the biomedical engineer and doctor are two different persons today. But tomorrow the industry may look for these two skills in one person. And hence I need to do biomedical engineering and then move into medicine so that I will be in demand.
Amazing.
And so
Thank you so much,
basically,
Debashis. This was
that's what
an
actually is
excellent
required.
example. Sorry, did I cut you off? Please
No,
complete.
no, that's what I wanted to tell. So learning is very, very important. And learning can come from certifications, can come from on the job, can get into the courses that you
Internships,
know, yeah,
competitions. Yeah. So
competitions,
all of these things are important. Thank you so much, Debashish. It was a very, very helpful session. And to the students who are attending this session, I hope you noted some of these tips and tricks that he shared. Some very innovative ideas Debashish shared. I hope you noted those too. And if you were not attentive, then we will be posting parts of this session. We will be posting this full session on a Jobinar page that we have. The link to that page is being given in the chat here. Please visit there. There are many more sessions, not only from HR perspective, but from tech perspective. We are reviewing resumes. We are talking about emerging technologies. Every second and fourth Thursday of the month, we hold jobinars to discuss some of these topics. All these recordings are available on this jobinar page. Do visit that page and
May I
upskill
ask you,
yourself.
I wish everyone here, each individual, each and every individual, a very good career ahead and land up their dream job.
Thank you so much, Debashish. Thank you for your presence and your insights.